Welcome back to the Drunk Linux User. I'm Len. I am the Drunk Linux User. I'm drunk on Linux, and Linux is drunk on me. That's an old commercial. Some of you will get, some of you will not. It has nothing to do with Linux. Boy, that really makes me want to start all over again. But I won't. And as I promised yesterday, today is going to be about some of the programs that I use to make these little, as I call, jaunty little videos. Sometimes they get a little long, sometimes, well, they're just a little long. Today we're going to talk about certain pieces of software like OBS Studio and Shotcut and Audacity and such, GIMP, Inkscape. In a nutshell, those are mostly the things that I use, but give you an idea of where you can find these things and what they look like. I'm going to bring over the window that OBS uses so that you can see. As I'm recording this, I've got I probably should explain. I brought that over from my laptop window. I have another monitor set up so that I can, do all the big fancy stuff over here. But anyway, I use this, put my little face up here. I can make my face bigger, smaller, whatever. Let's make me a little bit smaller. I'm not that important. It's just my show. And what it does is right here, the highlighted source is my Logitech C920 camera. This is showing the screen capture. You can see that it was highlighted in red, right? And this the camera was likewise over there. And then I'm using a microphone, a C Media USB mic. And so I'm not going to change any of that stuff, but this is how I've got it set up. And as you can see, it works pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, so I'm going to just toss this back over here, but this is what I used to record these videos with, and I save them to a folder, and then I work with it using editing equipment. I live in an apartment complex, and you're going to hear all kinds of weird noises going on. The big hum that's going on in the background is my upstairs neighbor's air conditioner going at full speed. It's hot and it's muggy today. So anyway, and just a public service announcement. If you read on the bottle of a vitamin that you should take it with food, take it with food. I took several different vitamins this morning on an empty stomach. Just had some coffee, and oh my God, that was horrible. That was just horrible. Let's just put it that way. I've been having to eat real heavy foods after that, which is really screwing up what little bit is left of my diet. And anyway, that is my public service announcement for the day. Welcome once again to the Drunk Linux User and all the myriad things that you will learn while you're watching this jaunty little video. All right, so you see what I'm using to record with. That's OBS Studio, and you can find that little booger right here at obsproject.com. And as you can see, they have it for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Of course, I'm on Linux, so this is what you're seeing right now. It's amazing. I think from what I remember hearing, most of the people that are on YouTube are using this software to do their recordings and to be able to put their little faces down here in the corner and show a web page or a program that they're running or games and things like that. So this is it's free. I mean, this thing is awesome, and it's free. It does not take up an awful lot of your computer's resources. I mean, it does take up some, don't get me wrong, but it's not a power pig, which is tremendous considering, I'm running with an 8-year-old laptop over here, and every day I use it, I'm praying that I've done everything possible to keep it running. If you go take a look at this, it'll give you some more information. You can set up different scenes for this, by the way, so that if I wanted to set up a different scene and have it, go from just me to just the desktop, I can switch back and forth. But these are not that kind of video presentations that I'm giving, so that this is about as bare bones simple as you can get, and that's good for me. So this is open broadcaster software, OBS, and it is great. See, oh wow, look at that. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. I guess those are the diamond sponsors. Gold is I have never heard of that company before, but I'm sure other people have. And as you can see, you can set up different scenes, and you can set up how your audio, your video, and your exports and everything. I just have it set up so that it drops. Hang on, excuse me, that damn summer cold's still with me. I just have it set up so that it records at 1920 by 1080p. I save it as an MKV file. I just think, a lot of it is just basically set at default. I do a little tweaking. I do a little tweaking. And, but not much. Basically, it's all factory settings. And I love it. I think it's great. Especially the price. My gosh. You can't really complain too much about that. So this is OBS. And if you wanted to check it out, just go to obsproject.com. It's fun to play with. And you don't need to have like a separate webcam. If you have a built-in webcam on your laptop, use it. If it's decent enough quality. One of the things that I've noticed is that this records extraordinarily clean. It's very, very sharp imaging. If you are watching this on BitChute, for some reason the quality is just like painfully horrible. But if you were to go to some place like Rumble, and I haven't really signed up there yet, but I'm thinking about it, or if you go to YouTube, and I just kind of have like a issue with Google anyway, but regardless, the other sources, Odyssey, for example, you'll actually see that the quality is very, very sharp, but for some reason maybe it's because I don't pay. Maybe that's the reason. I haven't paid for my my subscription or my username with BitChute. That could maybe be the problem. I don't know. But it just doesn't look as clear as what it looks like if I just go ahead and play this through something called VLC, Video LAN. I don't remember the C part. Anyway, I can show you that later. But this is OBS. Check it out. It's really good. Now, my video editor of choice is Shotcut, and this is free. There aren't even a paid version available for this, so there isn't okay, yeah. There are lots of different video formats that it supports. It does have device and transport options. The interface isn't that hard to learn, honestly. It can be as simple as you want, simple as you need. I'll just go ahead and launch it right now. And here we go. This is the way I've got mine set up. Over here, you drop your movies on the left, and you can click something and drag it down. In fact, let me just kind of give you a little show here. This is the file from yesterday. Okay, this thing right here. I can take it and drag it over here, and you can see that's where it is. Now, on the first video, and this is the part that kind of gets everybody a little screwed up. On the first video that you want to edit, you can bring it and drag it down here, and it will put it in place properly. See, right there. That's video 1. You can change the name if you want to. I'll just leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. Okay. But you can see that it's divided up here. You've got video, and your audio is listed here. If you need to separate it, which I do, and this is why I'm showing it to you, You can just separate like this, select it, delete it. So now it's a silent film. The reason that I do that is because I use another program I'm going to be getting to very, very shortly that will go ahead and go back into this. And it's called Audacity, and I'm going to recommend that with some pretty large caveats right now, because I don't like the way the direction of the company that bought this once free open source completely benign piece of software and decide that they're going to start tracking their users. I'm not going to do that. I'm using an older version. This is an older version found in the Linux Mint repositories. It's version 2.33. They've said that anything from 3.03 on will have the tracking software in it. I don't know if they've actually gone back into 3.0, 3.1, 3.2 and added it. They could. How would you know? You don't. So regardless, this is Shotcut with just some of the basics. If I want to add some filters, like, oh, here's something really nice, I can fade in right here. Okay, so one of the nice things right now is that we don't have to worry about sound. So as you can see, it just fades in real quick, and that's me getting ready. So if I want to do any cutting, I put the bar, the seeker bar, whatever you want to call it, right here. And if I just press the letter S, or use the split right there, but S, then I can take one. This has been separated. I can delete it and I can move everything back to the beginning. But I don't want to do that right now. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to undo the cut. And the video is back to normal. No harm, no foul. You can add filters. Select the video. Add a filter. You can add contrast, which I probably should be doing a little bit, just because it looks like I'm a little washed out anyway, but who knows? Maybe that's just the way I'm supposed to look. But as you can see, you've got some nice filters. Actually, you've got all different kinds. You've got you can set up favorites that you use all the time. Again, these are just all set up for default for me because I typically just start typing up here for what I want. But they have a big list of video filters. You can do green screen with this very, very simply. There are a bunch of audio filters as well. I use some of these. Even after using Audacity, bringing it in, I'll still use some of this. And you can do keyframes with this as well. So if there are filters that you want to start at a certain point and end at a certain point, you can use keyframing to say, okay, right here's where I want this to start, change it, let it run, here I want it to stop, or just let it go through the rest of the video. It's totally up to you. I'm not going to save anything here, I'm just going to close out, but that is Shotcut. Do I want to save? No. Okay. And you just go to shotcut.org and you can download for Linux. This is one that I strongly suggest. You get the app image. Don't try to get it in a flat pack. I haven't tried it with snaps, but I don't like snaps, and that's just my personal feeling on things. Okay. Again, the flat hub file is going to be larger. It's going to take up more resources on your computer. And I just find that the app image is extraordinarily stable. So just when you go to download, get this little booger right here. You can either run it right directly from your download folder if you want to, or you can use the app image launcher software that I showed you in the previous videos, integrated into your system. And that way you've got an icon you can put into, well, with me it's the launcher, or you can put it up on a panel somewhere. So that's Shotcut in a nutshell. The other one that I will use on occasion, if I need something that's probably just a little bit more complicated, I'll use Kdenlive. And the reason that I don't use it for the simple stuff is for some reason, and again, this is all about my machine, right? For some reason, Kdenlive crashes a lot. Okay, so I'll be in the middle of something. I have to keep saving. Every time I do any type of alteration, I have to save it. If I don't, I go into the second editing function and kaboom, I've lost it. And I have to start all over again. And it's a pain in the butt. However, it has some amazing features. And we'll take a look at some of that right now. It is really, really good. And I highly recommend it if it will work on your computer. And you can do multi-track video editing just like you can with Shotcut. Again, it will handle a lot of different video formats, and a lot of people use this for YouTube and the Linux community. I am so sorry. Damn vitamins. The Linux community really, really adores Kdenlive. And so if it works for you and you get the knack of the way that it can run and be used, by all means use it. It's nice. I want it to work on my computer. I want it to work. But you can do a lot of color grading and a lot of really cool transitions between scenes and just even within using filters within the same scene, actually. It does have proxy editing, and so does Shotcut, by the way. One of the problems with some of these video editors is that if you've got a large file and you start working on it, you'll notice that the movie, as you're playing it, as you're scrubbing through, it looks all choppy and jittery. Well, using proxy files, what they do is they take like a lower resolution, smaller file, and you're editing with that. But when you go to render it, to put it out on YouTube or wherever you want to, you're actually using the edits that you used on the proxy for the original file. So when you go to edit, it's going to be as sharp and clear as what you saw beforehand. And the same holds true for the audio part of it as well. So one of the other things that I liked about Shotcut, and I think you can still do this with Kdenlive as well, and I do have it installed, I'm just not going to launch it. But on Shotcut, one of the things that I always do when I get this thing set up is I go into settings and I'll go into preview scaling and I select 360p. It's like really low resolution, but there's no stuttering, there's no jerkiness while I'm editing, and it's a very nice smooth flow. You can, if you got a more powerful machine, by all means bump it up. But see, you can also use proxies. You can even tell it where you want to store the proxies, so that the hardware and the software, they all know where everything's going and can work. I always set this up for 1080p 30 frames per second because, quite frankly, on BitChute, YouTube, whatever you call it, Rumble and Odyssey, it's kind of a waste. I mean, unless you're going to be, showing something on a 65-inch 4K monitor, God help you if you ever do with this one, with my videos. You'll be looking up my nose for sure, and there's no point in it. But anyway, if you're just looking at it on your computer, most people, the 30 frames per second and 1080p is perfectly fine. There are other settings, I'm just not going to get into it, but both Kdenlive, why not? Both Kdenlive and Shotcut have just an outstanding set of features. And what we want to do is I can open up. So I'm sorry about the jump cut just then, but there's no reason for you to have to see all my file folders. So again, if you want to work on a folder, you just drag and drop it in, and it'll be here. And this is the clip monitor. Okay, you can see how things are working here. You can drag where you want to start and end and all that good stuff. If you want this, as you can see right now, the way that I've got it set, it's importing the original file right now and creating a proxy file. It's going to be the proxy file that I would use for editing if I'm going to use it for this. Switch. No, because it's already set. Okay, so once this thing, well, if I would have said yes, it would have shown that this was a proxy. It would have a P in there, and it doesn't. So there. So anyway, the same kind of situation. It's a little bit harder in some respects because when you have the video and the audio linked like this, if you just want to try to drop in another, like just a picture on top of this, like a transparent image or text, whatever, and then you try to put in some audio, it's like you have to match these things up to make sure that they work right. Another reason why I like Shotcut is I don't have to screw around with that. Maybe I'm just using Caden Live wrong, but I've noticed that trying to just add audio when I have something else like in video 2, in the video 2 line, weird things happen. So anyway, this is Caden Live. It does have a lot of great features to it. It does have a nice audio mixer over here on the right hand side. Not going to play it. You saw it yesterday, so it's no big deal. And we're gonna not save for that. But this is Caden Live, and like I said, really nice program. Has a lot of features, and if it works for you, use it. I highly recommend this one too. Now the next one is for audio. It's Audacity. Again, I'm not using the new one. I'm using an old one, and the old one looks like this. It almost looks exactly like the new one. It may not have some of the features that the new one has, but this is pretty much the same. One of the cool things about Audacity, I'm sorry about the jump cuts here. I kind of get stupid and I forget that I don't want to show all my folders. This is the movie. This is the one that I made yesterday, the video. And I can take this and I can drop it. And oh my gosh, Audacity, an audio program, will actually read this. Now, this is going to take a long time, so there's going to be another jump cut going on right now. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible and not move. Oh, what the hell, I'm going to move. That was 1.5 songs of whistling. Okay, so all the audio from my movie is here. Now, it hasn't changed the movie at all. It's just brought in the audio. And this is what I use. This is what I use Audacity for, and if I can get it to shrink, I will. Come on now. Oh, there we go. All right. So, like I said, there's lots of buzz and hums and all that other crap. What's really nice about Audacity that I like better than the others that I know how to use is this section right here before I start talking. You can hear all the humming from my neighbor's air conditioning. Okay? I can get rid of that. It is going to change the quality of my voice though. So I can do all these changes here and in Shotcut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to Effect, Noise Reduction. I'm going to get the noise profile of that that's going on in the background. Okay? Then with Control A or Command A if you're on Mac, select the whole thing, Effect, Repeat Noise Reduction. Instead of just getting the profile, it's going to do its level best in the next 2 minutes to get rid of that. And so we're going to have another jump cut, or maybe I'll just speed it up or whatever. This is what happens when you try to do an awful lot of really complicated and seriously intensive work on a really old computer that doesn't have the processing power designed to do this type of dirty deed that I'm doing right now. This will be done in just a little bit of time. Hang tight. Be right back. Okay, we're coming up on it right now. So in just a few seconds, you'll see on the part where I had taken the noise sample that it's almost gone. Okay, I can run this again, do the same thing, noise reduction. This time the noise reduction is just going to pick up those frequencies right there. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that today. But as you can see, though, there's still a little bit of buzzing going on in the background, so my voice is going to sound
Welcome back to Drunk
and you might be hearing
Linux
it right
User.
What I'm going to do with this is, first of all, I don't need all that crap, so I'm just going to highlight it, hit delete, everything moves over. I am going to select everything, okay? And the next thing I do is I go into normalize, okay? And I want it so that the peak amplitude is going to be -1 decibels, dBs, okay? I don't change anything else. You can listen to it and hear the difference. It's going to get louder, okay? It's going to bring up the gain to make it louder, which is good. Okay, I record typically a little bit lower so that I don't peak and clip and make everything all hot and nasty on the deal. This part, thank God, doesn't take as long as the others. But you're going to see very, very quickly that the waveform on these channels is going to increase substantially. And that'll just take a few more seconds to do that. And the reason that I'm wanting to do this is because I try to make sure that all of my videos have the same basic volume, so that if you're binge watching, you don't have to go, oh my God, it's so hot, or what? My volume doesn't even go up that high. There, you can see the peaks have gotten a little bit taller, which also means that the buzzing in the background probably has gotten that way too. The next thing I'm going to do is, you can see here that some of these peaks and some of the valleys are really, really low, and some are really, really big. Okay, what we use for that is compressor. Compressor with my mic, my living room situation is set up this way. I've got the threshold set up for -17. If I'm in a different room, sometimes I have it set to -18 or 15. Just depends. Usually the noise floor I don't even touch. Ratio is anywhere between 2.6 to 3 to 1. So the attack time is around 20.22 seconds, so 0.23 in this case. Release time is just 1 second. I leave that alone. All I'm doing is showing you what I use on my machine. You can again listen to this if you want to, but we're not going to. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I'm just going to cancel out of this because I don't want to have to wait forever for this, and I don't want you to wait forever for this either. Anyway, what you would notice is that these peaks would be dropped a little bit. I would go back into normalize, and I would bring everything back up again, because when you compress, things go softer. And compression, what it does is it helps kind of like levelize. So if there's any really, really loud poppings, or I tend to shout or something because maybe the cat threw up on me or something, then it's going to bring it all in within a certain volume level that's going to be easier for everybody to hear. So that's pretty much what I do. I will use something called filter curve, and on filter curve, because of my room setup, what I'll do is I'll raise the bass a little bit, because when I remove all the buzzing from the air conditioners, you lose a lot of my voice. So what I'll do is I'll just pop it up a little bit here, not a lot, just a little bit, and I'll save it. You'll see. I'm not going to make it do it, but it would make all the bass end go up on that. And then I would take this and I would export it as a WAV file, because a WAV file is really nice and clean. Okay, you don't have weird crap going on, like artifacts and stuff like that. So anyway, if you want, you can fill in this stuff. You don't have to. Not for what we're doing anyway. So we just click OK. And boy, that was a long minute. Anyway, it has saved the file, and probably saved it in the other folder. It did. So there we are. No. Something's wrong. I don't know where I saved it. All right, my fault. I'll just use this one because it really is the file from yesterday. And I'm going to paste it in here. The reason that I'm doing this is because when I want to go make the movie, I'm not going to save anything here. Going back into Shotcut or Caden Live, because this works for both. Waiting for the screen, of course. All right, so I'm going to set up my playlist. I'm going to grab my files, the movie file and the Audacity file that I had made. I'm going to drag them in over here, and they're available. Now, because of what I want to do, this is the original video, remember? Okay, and on that original video, once it imports in, you can see the original video's audio is there. I don't want that on there anymore. I want to detach it. Poor little computer. And I get rid of the original audio. That audio line is still there. I can bring in the Audacity version.
My throat felt like it was about like this, but I wanted to really.
What I can do with this now is, because it's still not going to sound exactly great, I'm going to add some filters to it. And one of the filters that I add is bass and treble. Actually, just the bass. I'll bring the bass up, and I'll bring the mid and the treble down, and you will be able to notice a difference
to get a video
in the tonal quality of my voice. It sounds a lot more natural. That's all I do with that. However, I also add another filter called limiter. And what I do with limiter is I tell the computer, don't let this thing go any hotter than -1 dB, so that it doesn't, what we call clipping. It's where things kind of, if it's too loud. You've heard that before. You can see on the right hand side by the peak meters that things aren't very loud. I'm going to turn off the volume on that. I'm going to play it. You can see that the peak meters on this are not going up very high. I can bring the volume up so that it will be.
Never have done such a thing.
You can see that.
Well, I think what happened was that they're more embarrassed by association with me that I did such a thing.
Mostly, I will leave it right around 5 for the way that I record, and this is pretty much my my setup when I do the audio part of putting these videos together. So that's Audacity, working with Shotcut from video and audio created by OBS. So far, so good, right? Okay, we're not going to save this. There's no reason to. I'm not going to get into the, like how I put in the graphics and all that other stuff. Maybe another day. Probably not, but maybe. You never know. This is the graphic that I use when you come to my channel and you want to take a look at, for example, my last video, right? So how did I do that? Well, I go to a place called Pixabay, or I just go online. I try to find something free I can download. But Pixabay, man, join up, get an account. You can find some amazing things in here. Beautiful, beautiful photos. Great videos if you want to use them for backgrounds or intros. And they also have music. And they've got some really good music on here too. So anyway, that's Pixabay. Pixabay.com. I'd go there. I do go there. All right. So that was, remember, Audacity. If you want to go to their website, it's audacityteam.org. I think through their website with you can find older versions for Windows. If you're on Linux, just try to find something that's older in your repository. I don't know what you've got available for Mac. I don't want you. Go away. So that's Audacity. There is an alternative called Osen Audio. Osen is nice, and again, it's cross-platform as well. You can use it on Linux. You can use it on Windows. I don't like the noise reduction filter as well, and it seems like it always seems to put in some clicks in my audio that you don't hear with Audacity. But this is an option. It is ocenaudio.com, and apparently it can figure out what kind of language you're in, because you can see it's already set up for English for me. So check it out. You might like it. You might like it. And it does have some really cool features to it. And I'd say for some basic editing, like I don't want to badmouth these people because they've really done a lot of work on it. If you're trying to edit some songs or some simple audio, go ahead and use this. If you need something a little bit more complex, I would use Audacity. Remember, older version. But getting back to how do I make the thumbnails, I use one or two different programs. Mostly I use Inkscape, and Inkscape is a vector editor where you can create different shapes. You can import images, and I just find that it's easier for me to put text in, make it nice and sharp and clear, and move things around just very, very easily using Inkscape. I'm not going to get into the how-to-dos and all that stuff, but this is really easy to figure out. And if you've ever used something like Microsoft Word to work with images, I'm so sorry, something is in my eye. Then you can use this. If you've used Paint, you're going to really like this because it's so much better in a lot of respects. So give it a look. Inkscape.org. And that's how I make my thumbnails. Sometimes when I make these thumbnails, they are too big, and there are file limitations on YouTube and even on BitChute as to how large your thumbnail size file-wise can be. And that's when I'll use the GIMP. And GIMP is the GNU image manipulation program. Okay, get over the name. It's just a name. It's just the GNU image manipulation program. Okay, but you can do, as you can see, some really incredible work with this as well. It is mostly and it's used in desktop publishing. There's Inkscape right there. Scribus is another program for another show, another day. But you can do an awful lot with this. There are plugins that you can put in here. It is not Photoshop, but it's damn close. And it works really, really nicely. So with this one, it doesn't matter what version you get. Just just download it. And there's versions for Linux systems, Windows, Mac. It's worth it. It is worth it. And one of the nice things about everything that I'm showing you today, they're all free. Okay, you can donate if you feel like you want to give the developers, a free cup of coffee, or just out of gratitude you want to do something for them. By all means, donate, like from here. And let's see. Oh well. Get GIMP. If you don't get any other kind of image program on your Linux machine, get GIMP. It's just amazing. All right, so using GIMP, what I can do is I can take a big file, like a big PNG file, because sometimes they do get that. The more complicated that you get it, the larger the PNG file will eventually be. And I'll just use GIMP to downsize it using JPEG instead. And using JPEG, you don't really notice a quality drop when you're dealing with something like YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, those kind of... it's not that important. You want to get your point across. You want to do it in a simple, very nice, clean, easy way. And these two programs, Inkscape and GIMP, will allow you to do that. I just like Inkscape so much better. So that's what I use for that. I upload, of course, using my browser to the different web sources. And if I'm going to do an audio podcast, there's this really, really cool thing called KID3. It's a KDE-based program. And you can do your ID3 tags and whatnot using this program. It's got way more than I'll ever use, even if I'm doing, and I haven't, but even if I were to do like the Apple, what do they call them? Is it Apple Audio or Apple Pod, whatever it is? Pardon me. Then I would use that, but I still wouldn't probably use all the features on it because it's just got way too many. And those are the things that I use when I make videos. And everybody has their own workflow. They have their own preferences, and Shotcut might not work good for you. Some people don't like it. Some people prefer Kdenlive, and vice versa. I don't have a problem with either one of them. I have a problem with a program that crashes on me, though. And again, I think that's because it's my computer. I don't think it's the software's fault, and I don't think it's the operating system's fault. I think it's my computer. I think there's a point where it just says, I give, and that's that. So I have to start up and try to recover whatever I've lost. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. I mentioned VLC. This is a nice little video player. Actually, it's a full-blown media player, and with it you can do you can open up files to watch as videos, or you can watch or you can listen to music. You can actually go online and listen to things like I used to listen to Radio Paradise a lot because it really had some really cool music in it. You can also stream from here. I haven't figured that part out, and I'm not interested in doing live streams because I make a fool of myself enough just sitting here talking to you guys at home all by myself. And there is a way. I haven't quite figured this part out yet either, but there is a way supposedly to, if you have Chromecast, that you can cast to a Chromecast device if you want to do a video or send it to your TV that may be routed into your stereo. You can do that with this as well. Very nice program. Again, all free. Honestly, the only program that I have paid for out of everything that's on my computer is the SoftMaker Office. That is it. I've paid for equipment, but I haven't paid for software other than that. So you too can be a YouTuber or a rumbler or whatever they call it, a bit shooter. That sounds kind of weird. But you can do this. The operating system is free. The software is free. You can set up your accounts for free. If you have free time, you can do all this stuff if you want to. It isn't that hard, and it can be as good, as complicated, or as stupid simple as you want it to be. The beauty of free open source software. You have your choices and you have your options. You're not locked into one particular thing. So I hope this helps, and leave your comments. Let me know what you think about any of this, your experiences. If you try any of this stuff and you don't like it, then delete it. Just get it off your computer. But look for something, and you can learn from each one of these programs about the things you like and what you don't like. And that's an education all in itself. So this is just a starting point. And I'm curious to see what you're going to do with it. So if you do start up your own channel somewhere, or if you already have a channel and you're using any of the software, put it in the comments. Let's all head on over to your channel and see what you're doing. In the meantime, this is the Drunk Linux User saying bottoms up and later, dudes.